multi-cloud to me sounds extremely complicated. Um, and I would imagine that it is very complicated to simplify your network. So talk to me about, I mean, in your experience, talk to me about some of the gotchas that you've run into.
Absolutely. So we've seen a lot of customers starting to migrate towards the cloud. We've seen them being able to leverage some or more of their services as they've started to understand. But what you start to notice and what happens is that those services that you used 6 months ago or a year ago might have been replaced by other more cost-effective services that might just work a little bit better for what your application was. So instead of just trying to force something in, now they've actually got a support structure. A great example of that is AWS a while ago. They had a lot of customers creating what they called the transient networks. Transient networks are basically that hub and spoke network where you've got all your traffic coming into the one area and then it's kind of bleeding out into different accounts or different segments of the network, and then they're all coming back through. That way you've got centralized security, you've got centralized logging, those kind of things. Well, AWS identified that this was a need a couple of years ago, and they actually created a service that you could just spin up what they called their transient gateway, where you could plug in those security tools already in the services. You didn't have to create your own transient gateway. So that's just one example of what we've seen, and it happens time and time again with the cloud.
And I guess at a high level, I think that was just a great example that Aaron brought up about really the devil is in the details, and some of the value that an organization like us can bring to the table is two things. One is the full cloud, the full stack engineer, where they've thought through all the different levels of the OSI/IP stack model, but also having that inherent security practices that we have, and some of the tools that we have, like our Chasm tool that's continuously discovering your attack surface. So as you have some of your attack surface from the internet, could be in your data center, a hosting center, multiple public clouds, we can help you keep an eye on that. And also having those full stack engineers, SynerComm being around for 30 years, we can help you with a lot of those gray areas that may not have been thought out about, like people that are just used to cloud native components.